Being tall comes with its own advantages and disadvantages in life, and that goes for medical conditions too. So here's the question: how is the weather up there? Taller people have a higher chance of experiencing atrial fibrillation, a heart condition characterized by irregular and rapid heart rhythms. A 2021 study of men who didn't initially have AF found that taller guys had almost twice the risk of developing it compared to their shorter counterparts. According to a review published in the Indian Heart Journal, the connection between height and AF can be attributed to several underlying mechanisms, including enlarged atria, blood volume overload, and faulty electrical conduction in cardiac tissue, meaning that their hearts might not work as effectively.
I have a heart condition. If you hit me, it's murder.
Consequently, the study warns that AF can lead to serious problems like stroke, heart failure, and even dementia. On the flip side, shorter people seem to be somewhat protected from AF because their hearts don't have to work as hard. Nevertheless, another study published in PLOS Medicine proposes a different theory, suggesting a link between genetics and AF. This study explains that certain genes associated with being tall have also been linked to a higher risk of AF. These findings underscore the importance of considering factors like height and assessing heart health, which may help medical professionals take steps to reduce the risk of AF and its associated complications. Deep vein thrombosis happens when a blood clot forms in a deep vein, commonly in the legs. The most dangerous outcome of DVT occurs when a piece of the clot dislodges and makes its way to the lungs, resulting in a condition known as pulmonary embolism. This condition can be life-threatening if it obstructs blood flow to the lungs. Traditional risk factors for DVT include vein injury from fractures or surgery, slow blood flow due to limited movement, increased estrogen from pregnancy or birth control, chronic illnesses, family history, age, obesity, or inherited clotting disorders. Interestingly, taller height has been linked to a higher risk of venous thromboembolism, a broader term that comprises both DVT and pulmonary embolisms. According to a study published in the Journal of Thrombosis and Hemostasis, taller height might affect VTE risk for a number of reasons, including tall people having more surface area in their veins. Another study published in the same journal found that men over 6 feet 5 inches had a 3-fold increased risk of experiencing a first VTE event compared to shorter individuals. Since height is not something you can change, it's essential to recognize its role in thrombosis risk, especially in combination with factors like prolonged bouts of inactivity. Coronary artery disease stands as the most prevalent type of heart disease in the US. It happens when plaque, made mostly out of cholesterol, builds up in the arteries. Over time, this plaque buildup narrows the arteries, restricting and potentially blocking blood flow, which could prove fatal.
Oh, this is a big one. Is that Elizabeth? I'm coming to join you, honey.
Yet surprisingly, taller people may have an advantage when it comes to CAD. According to a study published in the New England Journal of Medicine, height and other body measurements are directly linked to the size of your heart's arteries. This means that shorter people may have smaller arteries compared to taller people. As a result, even a lesser amount of plaque in shorter people's arteries could lead to a higher likelihood of developing CAD. Additionally, another study published in the International Journal of Epidemiology found that taller folks tend to have lower levels of body fat, triglycerides, and cholesterol, all of which contribute to a protective effect against CAD. In fact, the study determined that for every 2-inch increase in height, there's a 10% reduction in the risk of coronary heart disease. Peripheral neuropathy is a condition that happens when the nerves outside of the brain and spinal cord, known as peripheral nerves, become damaged. This damage can be the result of numerous factors, from vitamin deficiencies to alcohol abuse to autoimmune diseases. Yet, evidence suggests that height can be a significant predictor of peripheral insensate neuropathy, a type of peripheral neuropathy affecting sensory nerves defined by the presence of one or more areas lacking sensation. As explained by a study published in the Journal of Clinical and Diagnostic Research, the length of the nerve fibers increases with height. Therefore, having longer nerves means there is an increased surface area that can be exposed to toxins or damage. According to the study's results, the risk increases for men taller than 5 feet 6 inches and women taller than 5 feet 3 inches. However, other analyses set the bar at 5 feet 9 inches. A study published in Medicine has revealed intriguing insights into the relationship between height and high blood pressure. The study found that, starting in their 40s, shorter people tend to have higher systolic blood pressure compared to taller people, and that the difference became more noticeable as people got older. This association might be caused because shorter people may have blood flow-related issues that taller people don't. On the one hand, shorter people may have smaller heart artery diameters, which directly affects blood pressure. On the other hand, arteries in shorter people tend to become stiffer earlier in life. This is explained by the fact that substances in the body that help with growth, like insulin-like growth factor 1, play a role in arterial health by stimulating elastin production in the aorta. Elastin is a protein that helps maintain artery flexibility. Thus, lower IGF-1 levels could lead to reduced elastin levels and stiffer arteries, potentially contributing to high blood pressure in shorter individuals. Dementia is a degenerative brain condition that affects over 55 million people around the world, with Alzheimer's disease standing as the most prevalent form. Nevertheless, research has shed light on a potential association between being taller and a lower risk of the disease. A study published in the American Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry revealed an intriguing inverse relationship between height and dementia in nearly 1,900 men aged 76 to 95, suggesting that taller people may be less susceptible to cognitive decline in later life. How does this work? Well, the journal JAMA Psychiatry published a study in 2018 that suggested that enjoying a higher socioeconomic status can be related to a reduced risk of dementia. Essentially, wealthy people, celebrities for example, seem to run a lower risk of contracting it. Dementia tends to be linked to negative childhood experiences, like not having access to enough food or a good education, as these same factors can often affect how tall you grow and how well your brain develops. This then means that taller individuals are potentially predisposed to a lower risk of dementia.